principles that work for you.
Hi, everyone. This is Raquel Beneby Hart, your host for The Power of Her Story. Welcome once again for another exciting, informative, and empowering episode. The Power of Her Story is all about curating and celebrating the journey of women from around the world. And we are excited that we are touching another spot within this region. And before I get to introduce you to our guest for today, I want to remind you of a quote. Life is a journey of people, places, and perspectives. And as we go through the journey of life, it's called process. Sometimes we encounter challenges that we have to overcome. And the good thing in all of that is that we can overcome challenges. I just want to share a little bit more with you about how the Power of Her Story came about. The Power of Her Story was, it was actually an event that was held last year, 2019, to honor my mom, the late Rose Beneby, to showcase who she was as a woman, as a businesswoman, as a community leader, and as a woman of God who persons would go to, particularly women, for counseling, support, and especially when it came to cooking food. She was she was known for her food, particularly peas and rice and her pea soup. Trust you me, she had persons from all over, of all stratus of society, they have to come and see Miss Beneby to get their peas and rice cooked for them, or their pea soup. So she was known just be cooking up rice just for people to take home for their husbands or families or for events. And I realized that I was walking a little bit in her footsteps as a community-minded person, wanting to give back into the community. And it was my first opportunity, I call it, to give her a fitting farewell, to showcase who she was as a woman, and for others in Grand Bahama to have an appreciation for who she was, because she wasn't from here. I am transplanted here in Grand Bahama. And so it also was an opportunity for me to share a little bit about my story. I never did get to do that. I think I cried perhaps all through the event, but I'm just thankful for the 12 women who shared the platform, who shared their stories to help others overcome their challenges, and success secrets and nuggets was willingly shared. It was a room filled with emotion, but hope and excitement and inspiration. I would use that word. It was an inspiring moment. And so the Power of Her Story was actually an event. And persons kept coming back to me, when are you going to do this again? When are you going to do this again? And so I was trying to figure out another platform. How can I really engage more women to be able to hear more stories? And so last year, was it last year? Time goes by so quickly. No, actually, it was earlier this year. Earlier this year, we started filming The Power of Her Story. And it was to use a platform where more women had an opportunity to hear the stories of women that they see and look and admire, so that they too can understand, if they can do it, I can do it. It is intended to inspire, to transform, and bring about change for the good, and to highlight and celebrate our community builders. Some, we may call them unsung heroes, those who are cooking in their communities and helping the kids cross the street. Women, sometimes we may never see their names in the big lights or on TV, but we are celebrating their journey because they make a difference. When you think about a community, it's things in common. That's the basic root word that's in community. And to be able to communicate and to be able to fellowship. And when we do that as a community, we bring about growth, because the growth is in our unity. It's in our numbers being able to work towards a common vision. And that's what the Power of Her Story was about, bringing together women from within a community to share their stories of how they would have overcome and reached the platform that they are now at, and to curate those stories, because sometimes we never get to hear those names again. And so I'm just thankful that the Power of Her Story is here today, not only capturing the stories of women here on the island of Grand Bahama or the Bahamas at large, but now women around the world. And so persons who know me know I love to travel. I consider myself a global a global young lady who loves to get on a plane and go places and just to experience culture. And through those networks, I am now bringing these other women to this platform, and so that we can see ourselves in Trinidad, in St. Kitts and Nevis, in Russia, women in the United States, in China, wherever they may be, to be able to share their stories and how they overcome their challenges within their communities. Sometimes it gets very difficult. It's a lot of uncertainty. But I know when you have faith in God and you trust in the God Himself, He always brings us out of whatever challenges that we're faced with. And it's usually just this type of process used to bring about the build character, to bring about patience, to bring about discipline. Sometimes it helps us to learn about skills and talents and abilities that we didn't know even possibly existed. And so I'm delighted because today we get to hear another story from another woman, all the way from Trinidad. And I am delighted to share today's platform with none other than Toanya Rahim. I hope I'm saying the last name right because I just say Tonya.
Yes, you are.
Tonya is doing great things as a community builder in Trinidad. I had the pleasure to meet Tonya in Grenada first. We met in Grenada, I think that would have been 2017.
Yep.
2017, I think it was. We met in Grenada and we formed a sisterhood relationship from then. And, we normally buck at these conferences and then we buck again. And it was in our hometown in Trinidad. So, Tonya, now you have to answer to the public. Where is my roti? Where's my doubles? And where's my bus up shop?
Uh,
Where are they? You're on this interview today and I don't see anything.
it's on its way, Raquel. It's always here, ready for you.
Okay, don't worry. I'll be back in Trinidad very, very soon. I love the island in itself. Spent most of the time though in Port of Spain, but did get to go to Chugaramas and did get to go there. And I think a couple of other little places. I did get to. I call it my version of Lookout Mountain, where you go up on that
Hill.
narrow road to look out over the city of Port of Spain, and I'm like, okay, this is just a narrow little road. But that's the adventure and excitement of it all. Welcome, Tanya. So glad to have you here with us. I know that you are a busy lady in Trinidad doing a lot of things as a life coach, a mentor, working with youth groups, particularly your love of children. So I am not going to tell your story. You will. So, Tanya, tell me, who is Tanya and what is it that you do there in Trinidad that's impacting the community?
Okay, great, Raquel. As usual, it's always happy. I'm always happy to partner with you. I mean, you are someone who's always doing something exciting and new and an adventurous person yourself. So we must ensure that you have adventures whenever you visit us. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing right now is I am doing what I love and loving what I do at this part of my life. Working with young people and empowering them and learning from my journey and sharing, working with young women, working with immigrant women and immigrant uh, young children as well in both English and in Spanish. So
Hmm.
it's a fun time for me right now. I think I'm truly now living. Yes.
Your role is truly expanding because I know you've done a lot of work with young people. Now you've included immigrant women and their children as well.
Yes.
That's very profound because the work that you do is impacting the community. How do you feel about that as a life coach and a mentor to so many?
And I feel really very happy and fortunate to be able to use the things that I have within inside of me, the power that I've been given, and to be able to share and to serve. The joy that you receive in doing that it's something that's hard to explain, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Fulfillment. That is more, like you say, satisfaction and fulfillment when you are fulfilling purpose. And so you're making a difference because, when we give back to others in the community and those around us, there's just a special feeling that you get that, like you said, it just simply cannot be explained. And so people see Tanya, they're seeing you today, they're hearing about your impact in the community. But Tanya just didn't get there.
Hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your journey to getting to be a life coach and a mentor in your community. What challenges and obstacles that you had to overcome as this on this path of your journey?
Well, Raquel, I would have done what many people would have done. And that is you go to school, you ensure that you study hard, you got the certificates, and then you got to climb the corporate ladder and become a senior manager in an organization, a multinational organization. uh, So I felt really proud and happy about that. But then you still felt like something is missing. So there are a number of things that I went through, like many women. But I'll take you back to about 8 years ago. I'm sitting with my husband in a really cold office, waiting for the gentleman on the other side to say something to us. And what he said to me was that, we got the test results back and it's malignant.
Wow.
And so my first words to him was, okay, what's the next step? But of course, when I got home, I'm thinking, I have just made the decision to leave the corporate world behind. All the things that I've worked hard for, I've just left that behind, and I'm now setting up to start the Leadership Lab, which is where I'm going to get to coach and to train and to speak and to inspire and to be inspired.
Mhm.
What is this thing that I now have to deal with? But I will tell you, Raquel, that when I took treatment, lost all my hair, got married, by the way, with no hair. The gentleman in the room at the time was not my husband at that time. And when I lay in bed sometimes and realized that I couldn't continue to pursue as not as quickly as I could have,
Mhm.
I realized that cancer really slowed me down to speed me up
Wow.
because it made me stop and think and to really start to put things in perspective,
Mhm.
to start to connect with the person that I really am, and to be reminded that I truly am as God created me,
Mhm.
and it didn't change.
Wow.
All it meant is that now you're going on a different path, and I just asked for what resources I need and how do I do this.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for that journey. I'm grateful for the things that happened and the experiences that at the time felt like, why now? Because when I interact with others who are going through things that are similar, I'm able
Mhm.
to relate. I was lucky enough to go back to the hospital that I took my treatment and was able to work there for some time as a counselor and coach with other patients, which helped me to
Mhm.
understand so much more than just cancer, so much more about what people are going through. So you
Mhm.
said you wanted to be a life coach, Tonya, after you've been a senior manager and general manager, finance manager, and HR manager for years, and you just wanted to be a life coach. Then here's what you got to go through this and understand people
Mhm.
to be able to serve the people that you serve in the way that that you can truly be of value. So I'm really grateful for that.
You have given us so much nuggets in that brief couple of minutes there, because what you did in essence, you used cancer treatment as I guess, a stepping stone for you to coach other cancer patients and let them see through your journey that they can overcome. Because sometimes people, they go through life experiences. Yours may name cancer, someone may be finances. We have now faced with COVID-19, and people look at it as a death sentence. Life is over. But you're sitting here today, like you said, some 8 years later, and you're coaching other women and young persons as well. And so you're using that as a platform to be able to share your story and your journey to encourage persons that even in the midst of what seems like a dark moment in our lives, it's not the end of the world. It is just another path that you have to take. And in exploring that path, you find that these are the giftings, the talents, the abilities that we shared. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes God is bringing out in us patience, is bringing about discipline. And sometimes He's redirecting our path to take us into purpose. And so sometimes we look at it and we may want to complain because we don't understand the process that we're in. But that process has you here today telling this story. And I recall when you first told me this story, and it was like, wow, I admire her strength because we all face challenges in different forms in life, and we always think that's the end of the world for us because my problem is bigger than somebody else's. We always comparing our challenges to somebody else's. No, they didn't go through what I went through, but it's real to them. If it's just bucking their toe,
Mm-hmm.
that's real for them. That is painful. You may look at them and say, hold on, I've been in a car crash and I lost a limb. You just buck a toe. But it's real. It's relative to who you're speaking with. And
Yes.
so once again, I am in awe of you, Tonya, the strength and how you have transformed what seemed like a death sentence, and you're bringing life to others in your community. And we could just see the glow from you that you are fulfilling purpose and you're doing what God has for you to do at this moment in time. So, what would you say to other women who are listening to you at this time from around the world?
I would say if you're experiencing challenge right now, if you are feeling some sense of discomfort, then it's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate because it means that this is the stepping stone. This is the thing that's going to empower you. This is the thing that's going to bring all the resources and everything that you have laying asleep inside of you. This is the thing, or these are the things, because sometimes people have more than one that they're going through.
Yeah.
These are the things that really mold and shape us and prepare us to truly do what we're here to do, to
Mhm.
fulfill our purpose. And when you are fulfilling your purpose, man, it is like a fairy tale. It's like what else can you ask for? But how do you get there? We gotta listen, or we gotta get silent. We gotta see that this thing that we are going through, it's here for a reason. Show me, guide me, teach me, help me, so that I can use this in the best way ever.
Well, that is just an encouragement to me because adventuring, into something new and different. And, I'm always reflective of the life of a butterfly, the metamorphosis stage.
Mhm.
When you look at a caterpillar, and I've been posting a lot about process of late, a caterpillar has in it the DNA to become a butterfly. But when you look at a caterpillar, you don't see a butterfly.
No.
Now, the process, the next step is he goes into cocoon, which is a dark, isolated place. You don't know what's happening in there, how he feels, and of course, it looks uncomfortable because it's something wrapped up a little tight, and you become uncomfortable. And we recognize that a lot of good things come when we're uncomfortable. Diamonds are made under pressure. An oyster has to have a grain of sand to irritate it to create a pearl. And so here it is now with this caterpillar. Time, a few weeks, a few days, I'm not sure the length of time because for us, our process varies. For someone, they can come out and become that butterfly in a daytime, a week time, a year's time, 20 years time. But we don't want to hear that 20-year wait.
No.
Yes, 8 years later, yes. And so, but the key thing in it is to understand that the makeup of that caterpillar has the genetics to become a butterfly. You just don't see it at that time. And so many times we look at people and we encounter circumstances and we just look at the circumstance, not what the potential of what that circumstance can bring about in our lives. And so this encouragement today, and, like I said, we've been getting a lot of nuggets from women around the world, hearing their various experiences. And what is real for us as women, we go through a lot. We go sometimes through divorce, we go through loss of children, we go through the loss of home, we go through the loss of work, job or business. It's so many forms of losses, hurts, and challenges. And it's how do I balance this all and still become, because there's something, a yearning, there's something in you that says there's more to life. And so I am just excited because you have a beautiful tree in your background, and I just have a green tree in my, in my background. And it just speaks to life. There's hope
Right.
in the midst of all that we go through. And so, Tanya, I am so delighted to have you with me once again today to share your story, because it's in telling these stories that others overcome. Sometimes we look at people, we figure, oh, they've arrived, they're successful, and whatever success is for them, they look at it and they think, okay, this person has it all together. But they don't understand the journey to get you to where you are at.
Yeah.
What tears you would have shared, what fears you may have had to embrace to be able to get you to where you're at. And I applaud you and I honor you and I celebrate you as a wonderful woman doing great things in Trinidad. You're not just sitting there and sulking that, oh, this happened or this didn't happen. I know Trinidad, I think it was a year or two ago that, you experienced a hurricane, and I know you and I were in communication just to make sure you were all right.
Some
We can
flooding.
look at these things as devastation, but I
Yeah.
can tell you, I have so many stories. I always tell people, don't. It's not by chance that this show is called The Power of Her Story, because I have so many stories
Yes.
to tell. Because life is about overcoming challenges, and it's how you overcome it. And when you do, what lessons you learn, and what do you do with it? And what you're doing is giving back that life lessons in your community. And so we celebrate you all the way here in the Bahamas for the wonderful work that you are doing. And if there's anything else, where we can find you, Tanya, where could we find the roadie? Where can we find the doubles? Let us know. So those persons who may want to connect with you after the show, please tell us a little bit more about how we can connect with you.
Well, the Leadership Lab is an agency organization, and I can be easily found if you look on Facebook. There's a Facebook page and an Instagram page, the Leadership Lab.tt.
Well,
Yes.
there you have it, folks. We know how to find the Leadership Lab. You can find it on Facebook and on Instagram. And so, as we began, I will conclude. Yes, the power of her story is about celebrating and curating the journey of women from around the world. And life is a journey of people, places, and perspectives. Thank you for joining us once again today here at The Power of Her Story. Feel free to continue to watch us every Monday on RBNTV YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can find us all over the place. And so feel free to continue to join us at any time on Monday. New uploads come up every Monday of our new shows. Thank you so much once again, and God bless, and see y'all again real soon.
Watching RBNTV. We are networking, promoting, we're scoring points for you, proclaiming, declaring, here to encourage you. No matter the problem, we will enlighten you.